Wowee, Six Nations coming up, guys. 31st of January. Can Scotland win the Six Nations, 2025 Six Nations for the first time since 1999? Let me know your thoughts underneath this video. Guys, in this video I'm going to be covering three main areas. Firstly, what we learned about the Scottish side from 2024, what I think Gregor Townsend's strategy with the Scotland side will be. Number two, what their key players are for the tournament. And number three, I'll give you a bit of an overview of their tournaments and predictions and a few insights coming up. And guys, if you're enjoying the content, please support the channel. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share it with your friends to help support the channel. So what do we learn from 2024? Yeah, so a couple of key games there that I'll highlight. The first was on November the 10th, Scotland versus Springboks. The score there last year, 32-15 to the Springboks. Yeah, tough old battle. I think the scoreboard doesn't really reflect how tough the game actually was. Like, the Scottish side really took it to the Springboks, but I just sort of felt that Springbok defence is, by far the best in the world, and that physicality that Springbok side imposed was just too much for that Scotland side to crack. The other side, the Boks, they got down the other end and they took their chances when they had the opportunities. So yeah, Scots not able to crack them on attack, and then the Boks, when they get a sniff, they took their chances. So I think that game was closer than you think against the world champion Springboks. The next was November 24th, Scotland versus the Wallabies. Now this is a good Wallabies side. Like, they beat England and the Welsh last year, and Scotland, they were impressive. Like, you just saw the physicality, the breakdown. They shut down the Wallabies. They imposed themselves at the breakdown. They removed a lot of that space, and just shut down the Wallabies. And then just an amazing combination, Finn Russell taking it to that back line. He's so dangerous, getting space to the back three. Yeah, and look, they won it pretty well in that game, didn't they? So look, it just shows on their day, they can beat anyone. They're genuine contenders for the Six Nations. Tactically, Gregor Townsend, yeah, it'll be interesting. I think the big one from me is, firstly, how will the Scotland side attack? So obviously Finn Russell at the helm, so yeah, he's just a magician, isn't he? He passes when you least expect it. He pulls a crossfield kick, a little chip kick. He's very random, and his moves can be absolutely brilliant at times, and then a few occasions there's a few silly moments that come with that as well. But on top of that though, look, I'm expecting that Scotland side, that they'll impose themselves physically. A real accurate, effective set piece, a rush defence, physicality brought on defence, shutting down the opposition, and using players like Jamie Ritchie to impose themselves on the opposition. So what are the key players for the Scotland side in the tournament coming up? Look, firstly, you've got to look at Finn Russell. Like, boy, oh boy, is he talented, guys. Let me know your thoughts on him. Genuine X-Factor player. You got to say that about him. He passes out the back. He does these crazy chip kicks, crazy crossfield kicks, immense talent. You just wonder, like, with him at the helm, what are they going to do? Like, you just never know how they're sort of going to attack. So I expect he'll probably be a pretty key factor in their attack. And look, he's hugely important to that Scotland side, isn't he? The next one from me is Jamie Ritchie. But guys, I suppose the big one from me with him though, his stats. So he's 1.90 m and 108 kilos. So he's deceptively big, isn't he, guys? Like, on TV, he doesn't actually look that big. He looks tall, but 108 kilos. He's a bit of a specimen, isn't he? So, and look, he's immensely physical, isn't he? He makes his tackles well. He's an absolute menace at that breakdown, isn't he? Really tests the breakdown. A really good turnover player. But the big thing I think from me with him, it strikes me as a really intelligent player. He seems to read the game really well, and he's clever about how he plays the game. So he'll be huge leadership-wise to that Scotland side as well, with with everything he brings. Duane van der Merwe. Yeah, geez, he's a specimen, isn't he? Height 1.93 m and 106 kilos. Jeepers, he's a big unit, isn't he? Big, powerful man. The other night, I was watching that outrageous 58-metre solo try in the Six Nations against England. Like, that was just ridiculous. He just gets the ball out of nowhere and just cuts, 6-7 defenders open. He had absolutely no right to score that from where he scored it. And the other thing as well about that try that he scored, like, England are not a bad defensive side. Like, you look at some of the attacking teams like the Wallabies, All Blacks, Springboks, that really test teams on attack the way they play. And certainly that English defence, they really hold their own against those attacking teams. So for Van der Merwe just to carve them up like that, like, he's a beast, isn't he, guys? I'll be interested to see how they sort of use him. Like, will they use him off the line-outs as a ball-carrying option to carry it over the advantage line, or will they look to get it to him in space, or will they use his height, go cross-field kicks and try and use him in that manner? It'll be interesting, guys, But look, he is an absolute genuine threat, isn't he? And he'll have to play well for Scotland to do well in the Six Nations. Scotland Six Nations. So how does it look, guys? Whew. Spicy, very, very spicy. So round 1 is against Italy at Murrayfield on the 1st of Feb. So that first game, I think it's going to be tough, isn't it? Like, I'm expecting a brutally physical Italian side. Give them space to burn. That back three of the Italians, they can carve you up. But certainly that Scotland side, they'll impose themselves physically. Finn Russell will look to do his magic and they'll look to win a home game there. Round 2, Scotland versus Ireland again at Murrayfield. So home advantage, but yeah, tough battle against the defending Six Nation champions. Expecting a brutally physical game there, The Irish and the Scottish forward packs going head to head. I think Finn Russell will be absolutely key, so he'll have to be on fire and they'll have to take their chances when on offer, because that Ireland side will definitely take it to the Scots, and yeah, they'll certainly accumulate the points on attack. So another cracking game. Round 3, Scotland versus England at Twickenham, so on the 22nd of February. That'll be an absolute cracker as well, won't it, guys? Tough battle. Expecting a pretty well-drilled England team. England was there and thereabouts last year, weren't they, guys? Like, they had 3 very close games against the All Blacks. They could have won all 3 of those. And even that game against the Wallabies, they could have won easily as well. So, expecting a really physical England side, with the likes of Marcus Smith and their players out wide. It'll be a tough battle, but so certainly that Scottish side will look to impose themselves physically there. Round 4 against the Welsh on the 8th of March at Murrayfield. It is a young Welsh side developing, home game advantage at Murrayfield, but certainly I lived in Wales. Like, they are proud Welsh rugby players. They're a proud country, and they'll certainly be up for it. They'll be physical and they'll really be taking it to the Scots. So can't wait for that one. That's going to be an absolute cracker as well, guys. And then finally, brutal. Round 5, Scotland versus France on the 15th of March at the Stade de France in Paris. Jeepers, that is going to be an absolute ripper. Up against that hugely massive forward pack for the French with Antoine Dupont. That French side, such a simple game plan, isn't it? The brutally physical forwards, Antoine Dupont sniping around the breakdown. And then when it's on, they have that French flair to do a crossfield kick, or just the French way. They just pull something out of nothing that you don't expect the French way. Hugely effective French team though, isn't it? So that Scottish side will, they'll have to be on it. Finn Russell will have to be on it, executing their attacking plays, and they'll have to impose themselves physically, definitely. So, can't wait. An absolutely awesome Six Nations coming up for this Scotland side. Guys, let me know your thoughts on this upcoming Six Nations campaign for Scotland. They've got a pretty good chance of winning it. Can they do it the first time since 1999? Who do you think are their key players? Any tactics you think Gregor Townsend will implement for the Scotland side? And guys, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Add any further comments about you think about this Scotland side coming up. Cheers.